what's the definition of an outsider for you?
Being confident in who you are and being treated differently because of it.
Definition of an outsider is being like surrounded by people who have like similar interests in you or are similar to you, and you still just like don't have that sense of belonging.
The definition for outsider is, I think, when you don't feel safe and at home in this like current situation you're currently in.
To me, being an outsider is feeling like you're excluded from the social norm and just feeling like you can't fit in properly.
Just feeling like you don't belong with a certain group or certain people. Just the feeling of not belonging.
The time when I felt like an outsider was...
A time that I felt like an outsider.
Time I felt like an outsider.
Time when I felt like an outsider.
A time when I felt like an outsider. It would be, so growing up, I'm South American and Australian, and I've lived in 5 different countries in 4 different continents around the world. And because I would constantly move, I would constantly arrive to one place, be there for a few years, make friends, lose those friends, come to another country, try to find new friends again, then to lose them again. And it was just a constant cycle. And I always just felt like I never belonged with the group, or I just felt like I needed to catch up, and I always felt like behind from everyone. So that is a time when I didn't feel like I belonged and an outsider.
Probably in primary school when I'd like see everyone with like their families and just like everyone having like the perfect family, and knowing that it's just like mum and I, like not being ungrateful or anything, but like I just felt like I couldn't fit in properly because I never had that perfect family. And I mean, it doesn't really affect me much now, but I still have moments where I feel like I'm like not part of the social norm because of that.
Well, it was the other night where I was in line for a bar, and these 3 random girls randomly came up to me and was like, "Oh, skip in line with us," and I was like, "Oh yeah." And they seemed all like nice and friendly, and we were just like joking around and stuff. And then they were like, "Oh, like Christian David," like obviously trying to figure out if I was like Catholic or not, kind of thing. And then I was like, "Actually, yeah, I am." And they like flipped like a switch and just turned around, pretended I wasn't there. And yeah, that's how I felt like an outsider.
Being like a dancer for over half my life, I've just felt like an outsider, especially in ballet. Teachers give you like hundreds of criticism every single week, especially about like body image, and it really takes toll on your mental health, and you just feel like you don't have that. Like if you're not the perfect ballerina body, then you just feel like you don't belong, you don't feel like you're ever going to make it as a dancer. And you try to do things like you go to the gym to like lose weight to try and fit those social standards, and then you get told you're too bulky, or just like it's a never ending cycle as a dancer. So I felt like that was really a time where I struggled with being an outsider.
When I was in high school, I could talk to all my friends whenever I wanted to, but when it would come to lunchtime, I never had friends to sit with. I never felt part of a group. I never felt welcomed into a group. I just felt alone, so often I would sit by myself in the library because it felt no one would want me.